Hey Rob, how you doing?
Good, how you doing, man?
Doing really good, really good. First off, it's an honor to speak with you. and secondly, I'd like to say that I really enjoyed the film and I think it's your best work to date, definitely.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely thought there was a completely different vibe to it than your other films, earlier films. Um, I guess my questions I think might be a little interesting because I come from a religious background. So I kind of wanted to talk to you a little bit about some of the references and such in Lords of Salem, if that would be
Sure.
all right with you.
Yeah, sure, whatever. That's
Okay.
all good.
Okay. I guess kind of to get like a little bit of background. Were you raised in any sort of religious like background?
Not really. I mean, I think my mom was very religious as a child and actually at one point thought she might become a nun. But by the time I was old enough to, like when I was a kid, I don't remember even going to church or doing anything.
Okay.
I think that was pretty much out of our lives at that point.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I was just kind of interested in that. You use in Lords of Salem more so than Halloween or any of the other, the Devil's Rejects. It seems like in this one, and maybe it's just because it fit a little better, it seems like you kind of added a lot more religious imagery to it, like the nuns, the church, the crosses all over, that sort of thing. Did you like purposely do that?
Yeah, that all sprung out of real. I mean, the whole movie started in reality with the Salem witch trials,
Right.
which was the essentially fanatically puritanical religious group who suddenly, if you did anything outside of what they thought was the way you should behave, you were deemed a witch or a heretic or a devil. So that's obviously why there's such a religious overtone to the whole thing. That's where it all sprang from.
Okay. Okay. Now, I'm interested a little bit in the background of the material that you used in the film. The music is very, very. It grabs your attention. I'm talking about the song, like the Lords of Salem song, and
Right.
it's very much. I've read an interview with you where you kind of compared it to, or other people compared it to Jaws, where it's when you hear it, you know there's something weird going on. Was that rooted in anything historical, or is that just something that John 5 made up?
It wasn't rooted in anything. It was just something that we made up. I mean, the only aspect of it that has historical truth, essentially, is that I knew I didn't want to make something that was fake. So we played it live. It's all done live with ancient instruments. So that we knew that we wanted to be able to create a sound that could have been created then exactly as it was. As far as the note patterns or anything, that's all fictitious things that I made up.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. Yeah, because like I said, I had read an interview and you had said that a lot of the stuff that was in it was it was kind of based in reality, but you kind of went off wherever you wanted to go.
Much, yeah.
Right. Now, what about the the chanting? It's obviously a horror film. It's very, very much 70s flavored, and in my opinion, it's timeless. I really honestly think that this film 30 years from now is still going to be looked at the way that like Rosemary's Baby and The Exorcist are looked at, because there's no rooted time. Do you feel that way about it?
Well, that would be great. I mean, that's what you hope for. I mean, I try with all the films to make them timeless in the sense of not relying too much on anything modern day to be crucial. I mean, I did in this film more than usual just by the mere fact that there's cell phones and someone uses the internet once, but I guess those are pretty common things. But I try to create everything out of time. Because sometimes if you try to make a movie based on a very current gimmick, it'll just be outdated so quickly
Right.
that I thought that in an attempt, I mean, you always hope that you can make something that's timeless or that will live on, and I feel that that helps it. You know, if it already seems outdated, it can't get dated because it's already, you know, so it
Right.
makes sense.
Right. What about the? What about the? And I know it sounds like I'm like a crazy fanatic or something, but when I saw the movie, these questions came to my mind because they seem so genuine and they seem so they were just unnerving, which is I'm sure what you meant to do. The satanic like incantations and the chanting, is that based in reality, like in things that have been before, or was that just something that you came up with too?
It's really, I just kind of came up with everything. Like, some of it, the incantations would be pieces of things I had read, like satanic chants or different things. But some of it's based in pre-existing stuff, but I didn't want to just use anything that existed.
Right.
So I would take the essence of something or pieces of it and write my own thing. And I think so much of it comes through with some sort of reality based on the main actress who played the Mean Witch in the 1697 stuff, Meg Foster, really embraced it.
Right.
Like, emotionally. She was so there. Because to me, I was trying to sell to her that, these witches who would be deemed witches could in reality just be almost like hippie women living in the woods. But that would be enough to be deemed a witch back then.
Right.
Because you could be crazy. You could be, if you weren't, in church all day living a puritanical lifestyle, you were a witch.
Right.
That's
right.
all it took. So, yeah, she really, I think, because of her personality, she's this sort of free spirit type woman, really could find a connection to it. I mean, she would be tearing up saying some of those chants. Just on her own, like in her own mind, she would come to some conclusion that she'd get emotional about it. And I think that really helped sell something that otherwise in the wrong hands could have just come across like a lot of silly, spooky talk.
Right. Okay.
Truthfully.
Okay. So basically you took things that you read and kind of ran with them in your own direction.
Yeah, because there was nothing that was exact to what I wanted it to be.
Right.
Because I was I was trying to create a situation where, the 20 people that were put to death in Salem were all clearly innocent. But then I thought, well, what if there was another 6 people that weren't quite so innocent?
Right.
And that was where then I had to create, obviously, fictitious ideas to give that some.
Right. Right. What do you hope people take away from the film? I mean, is there anything that you're trying to say with it, or is it something that you want people to take away what they want from it?
Well, in a sense, I'm never really trying to push a message. I guess, in some respects, I try to bring sympathy to the witches because I want it to seem like, maybe they were just free spirits that in a very, conservative, rigid society were deemed heretics. Because I feel like there's a lot of that goes on now.
Right.
Where, people think like, oh, how could they have ever burnt witches alive? Really, that's why I wanted to bring sympathy for them, because I thought that people could relate to that. Because people get like that now. People get so self-righteous that they want to kill people over their beliefs for everything, even if it's insane. I still think today you could convince people that somebody has witchcraft powers.
Right, right.
What? Get a mob mentality with any topic and people get insane.
Right, right. Let's go to that for a minute and let's get personal with you. What do you have to say to people that constantly, the people that you're talking about, who everything's wrong, your music, you deal a lot with horror movies, you'll talk a lot about just stuff like, you talk about Satan, demons, and stuff like that. To you, is that something that it's like your love for horror films? That's why you sing about what you do? What do you have to say to people like that?
Well, everybody thinks what they think. I don't believe these things to be real and exist.
Okay.
No. some place where you're going to stand in fire and have a guy with a pointy beard and a pitchfork poking in the ass for eternity. I mean, these are not thoughts that I believe to be true. So to me, these are just interesting, crazy images that sort of stand for other things in a way.
Okay.
You know, they're great symbols of things.
Right.
Same way, people put a devil on a racing car or something.
Right. Tell us about one thing, or tell me about one thing that maybe got cut from the film that you really wished could have been there, or that you felt like you had to cut because of editing reasons, because of time.
Well, I mean, a lot of the story that takes place in 1697 got cut because I just didn't have time to film it. You know, unfortunately, the movie was shot 4.5 weeks, which is very, very super fast on a low budget. So everything I had planned just couldn't get done. And unfortunately, that was what got sacrificed a lot. The tie from the old time witches to the modern day witches, and the connections to the people. There was a lot more detail, a lot more backstory that I unfortunately couldn't get to. So that's one of the main things that's missing.
And that,
I don't know if it matters when you watch it. Maybe I would have cut it all out anyway, but you know.
And that stuff is available more so like in the book, right?
Well, it's probably all in the book, yeah, because the book was really written first based on the original script, so nothing had been cut yet. And at one point I had the idea, maybe I should go back and start editing the book to match the movie, and I realized that was just too monumental of a task, so I didn't even bother.
Right. All right. Well, hey, thank you for your time. Is there anything you got coming up that you want to plug real quick?
Well, besides the movie coming out on the 19th and the 23rd, my new album comes out also.
Yep.
So that's where I will be, pretty much dealing with those two worlds.
Okay, all right. Oh, I would also like to tell you, I really, really thought Sherry did a great job.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Yeah, I thought it was great. But yeah, I thought she did great. I really felt like you really could connect with her, and she seemed to be playing it from a very personal, emotional level.
Yeah, she was really, I mean, I knew she did a great job because I can watch the movie and forget it's her. Right. That's pretty hard to do.
Right. Well, hey, man, thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time. I know you're a very busy guy.
Sure, man. Have a good day.
You too. Take care.